It has been a long day. No, my day did not end with me looking like this. I had to come in here and kind of doctor some things out. Um, I know it's been a minute since we last chatted. Um, and I've gone through a lot. Those of you who have been following the like house update videos, I'm gonna give y'all this, and I'm gonna circle back because I want to share the resources that I've had to utilize since this transition has started for me. I feel like I'm shortchanging you all if you going through this walk with me and I'm not actually sharing the resources that I'm actually utilizing. There are people out there who may be misinformed. They may not be getting the information that they need. So I'm just going to ask that you all click like, click share, subscribe if you're on YouTube, which is where all of this beautiful voluptuousness lies. Except the Wake Up the Right Way Wednesday videos. I think you got to be on like my personal IG and my personal Facebook to get those. We'll get that figured out at some point, okay? But I do want to share with you all because I had to have some moments of clarity. We are in the midst of still trying times. I know you all see that the positivity rate in the state is constantly going up. The entire nation is being plagued yet again with this virus. And there are a number of things that I'm being surrounded around that have me... Okay. That kind of had me really concerned. And my biggest concern was this. If something happens to me, God forbid, what does that mean for my children? And I know it's going to surprise some of you all because apparently it surprised some people around me. But I had to go to my financial advisor and explain that there were some things that I needed to take place. Now, what I got when I shared this the first time with a couple of people was you got a financial advisor. Then I actually had somebody say, you don't even make six figures. How do you have a financial advisor? Let me explain something to you all, because there's a whole lot of myths out there that will deem us uneducated in our own income. The financial advisor is there to help you with your money, because oftentimes we will F up our own money and not do what we need to do in order to prepare us for what is to come. You can actually try to prepare for what is to come. I do not make six figures. For those of you that thought I did, I don't know why. I drive a Honda Civic. I'm not not sure where y'all got that from. Whatever. I don't. It does not mean that I do not require financial advisement. I need to be educated in my finances. Now, there are some people that look at it like, you've worked as an accountant. How in the world are you doing finance and accounting and you need financial advisement? I have a budget. And truth be told, to me, that's the basics as far as your finances go. If you don't have a budget and you have children and or grandchildren, you need your ass whooped. How you going through life without a budget? And you're probably telling everybody you live check to check. You don't live check to check if you actually budget the check. Just saying. Let's get it together. So I had to go to him because there's been a lot of stuff that I've saw. And it has really bothered me. So I'm the family secretary. Y'all know we 5 generations strong, and I'm the family secretary. So when we get the news of death, I'm usually the second person to get that news, because the expectation is that I'm then going to communicate this information in a kind of soft way to the family. And then I have to make sure that the person that's in charge of flowers understands that they have to get the flowers out to the funeral home by a certain date or whatever the case may be, and things like that. And we've been spending a lot of money on funeral arrangements, which kind of really had me thinking. Not just that. I mean, the fact that, when something happens and I really didn't even understand how to look at this situation. But a girlfriend cannot be a power of attorney to a man on his deathbed. His wife is the power of attorney. And there was a girlfriend who, when they came out with the DNR slip, assumed that she should be the one signing it. And they had to explain to her, well, if you're not the wife, you can't sign this. Where's the oldest child? Now, here's the stinger with this. Oh, my God, it hurt me to my core. He wasn't getting along with his kids. So now the family got to figure out, how do we get in touch with this child? How do we get this child here? How do we get this child to understand you got to let that go? Like, it was a huge thing. And with everything that we've endured untimely death in my family. We've had an instant where we could not bury somebody. We could get halfway through this and have the funeral. We've had instances where we couldn't provide a headstone right then and there. And it's a lot of this stuff that I'm seeing, that I'm hearing. It's really got me to thinking, if something were to happen to me, God forbid, where does that leave my kids? And I really was struggling with this, because the more I thought about it, the more I was like, this is not going to work. And what I noticed is that we have this habit where we'll get a life insurance policy. I'm guilty. I'm going to say me. I ain't going to put this on y'all. I'm going to say me. Get a life insurance policy. You pay the premium every month, got a beneficiary on it. That's it. There aren't any instructions as far as what needs to be done outside of that person just knowing that they in charge of the payout. Like, there are certain decisions I don't want my kids to be plagued with having to make as far as I go. I don't want them to sign the DNR. I don't want those instances to have my kids sitting in a waiting room trying to figure out what we getting ready to do. Because that was hurting me to my core, that they were then looking for this man's child, and come to find out, she sitting there like, I don't care if he do that. And y'all, it was killing me. Oh my God. And I think what was killing me even more is the fact that he had not made that right, and here he was on his deathbed. So it just brought a lot of stuff to the forefront for me, not just in death, but I had to go to my financial advisor, because even with me having to deal with this house, I'm renting. I bought my first house at 30. I've told you all that in several videos. I bought my first house at 30. I'm currently renting in my 40s, and it's bothering the hell out of me, because there are a lot of stipulations that come with renting that we are unaware of. And I'll circle back to how I had to really understand the law behind all of this. I think it was Pastor Jamal Bryant who said you should not have more shoes than you got books. Make sure y'all reading so that you understand what your rights are in every instant. I don't care if you got pulled over for weed. You better know what your rights are when you get pulled over and you know you got it. But I had to really think about some things. I had to think about the fact that when I switched jobs, it went from a 401k to a retirement account. And it's not one of those things that I'm logging into like my 401k was, because that was, tied to all these different stock options and everything else. And then I had to understand that we do this a lot. We switch jobs and then we cash out. Again, I think that was Pastor Jamal Bryant that said we consider ourselves middle class, but we don't have middle class money. That's because we're not saving. How is it that you switch jobs and you think that your retirement money is now supposed to be used to party during this transition? No, that's not how that goes. I just found out how much they tax you on a doggone CD. Now, a CD, I'm going to say something that's probably foreign to a lot of y'all. Just try to keep on me. A CD with compounding interest comes with a heavy payout. But here's the thing. The taxes just about match the payout. So is it really worth it if you got to pay taxes on the interest that the bank is actually paying you? I had to get my mans to help me to understand how you actually can work that out the correct way. Let me say that. I want to be politically correct. I had to get a better understanding of my debt. Right now, I don't have a lot. But at the same time, I had to really get educated in the little bit that I do have and where it is that I need to be going as far as my credit score, as far as my future goals financially. I mean, hell, I got a whole student in college and I'm sitting here struggling when, truth be told, had I took the time out to actually plan this better, she wouldn't be struggling in college right now. So I'm working on getting some different things planned so that when Layla goes, I don't have this huge debt hanging over me while I'm still trying to maintain my current bills. This just me being all the way 100 with y'all. I'm still learning how to manage my expenses. Just because I've been working in finance and accounting all these years does not mean that I understand the tax liabilities. It doesn't mean that I know how to file my own taxes. Hell, it doesn't mean that I'm understanding what it is that I should be doing as far as my retirement. I mitigate risk. I go in and find your millions of dollars and who stole them. And truth be told, if I ain't making six figures for finding your millions of dollars, I probably need to quit my job. That's just between us though, y'all. So I had to understand, because I actually have a couple side hustles that actually increase my available income. But am I actually investing and doing what it is that I need to be doing with my available income? I really had to sit down with my advisor and get this together. My retirement is null and void. Like, he was like, you ain't gonna have no money. I could have cried when I saw the numbers. So it doesn't come down to, and we like to look at this as a simple thing. It doesn't come down to you just having a life insurance policy and you having a beneficiary. What actually happens to your children, your grandchildren, those that you're leaving behind, should you leave here? What happens? Like, I'm trying to have wealth. I'm trying to have Kardashian money. I'm trying to make sure that things are done in a respectable way. I don't want my kids to be broke, but I don't want them to be the type of kids who are out here splurging just because their mama died and they got a few dollars either. So I had to think about this the right way. I had to make sure that I had the proper protection as it pertains to me and what it is that I need to be leaving behind for my kids. I had to get a better understand of not just my debt, but my emergency fund. Oh my God. I died 1,000 deaths with this transition because it has killed my emergency fund. And I'm sitting here like, do you know how long it took me to build that up? So then I had to be adequately advised as far as how I'm supposed to go in and correct that. Y'all, ain't nothing more important than you being educated in your own money. You making it every day. And if you going to work every day, I'm going to just throw a number out there. I know this may not be everybody's number, but I'm going to throw a number out there. If you're making between $60,000 and $80,000, you should be able to actually save 3 months worth of your income so that if something should happen to you, you are okay until you can find employment or you actually decide to build a business. So that's all I'm saying, y'all. I had to say something because I don't know everything, and people look at me and assume because of the way that I talk that I know everything. Just because I can stand up in front of a room full of people and educate you all on my testimony and the things that I've done wrong and the things that the way that I'm correct, it doesn't mean that I know everything. But here's the thing. We have to be educated in our own situation enough to know when we need to speak with somebody in order to make sure that we know how to settle our debt. We know how to make sure our kids and our grandkids are okay when we leave here, that we understand that we are set for, for retirement. There were certain things that I needed to invest in order to increase some money. It wasn't going to take much, but I had to understand that. I had to understand that should I switch jobs right now, that retirement comes out of there and I put that somewhere else where it's actually going to make me some money. Understand, the money that you have with your job is not where you make your money at as far as retirement goes. You need a really hefty interest rate. And if you got a lot of money in there because you done been on that job forever, there are ways that you can increase that money drastically. And I'm learning that. So I'm going to throw his information up on the screen. Again, you don't have to do any of this. This is just me sharing a resource because I've learned a lot in the last 2 weeks. I've been in this office faithfully because I'm getting a whole lot of nuggets about what it is that I should have done previously and what I can do going forward to make sure that me and my kids are actually okay. We are living in a time where death is inevitable. And we have to make sure that should we leave here unexpectedly, that family is okay. That's all I'm trying to do. I ain't trying to sell y'all on nothing or anything like that, but I do believe in being financially educated in the money I make. This is my money. Let me make my own money. Make sure that we're good. You heard me, right? I love you all. I will see you next video.